Look, I need to tell my side of this because everyone only heard his version and I'm tired of being painted as this terrible person when I was literally just stressed about a family photo. One comment, and suddenly I'm the worst wife in the world. I don't think so. If you want to subscribe to hear more stories like this, go ahead. Oh wait. So here's what actually happened. We were at my parents' house for our annual family photo. You know, the whole extended family thing where everyone has to look perfect, and my mom hires this expensive photographer because last year's photos apparently weren't good enough. Whatever. I'd been planning this for weeks, texting him reminders constantly because he has this habit of just forgetting important things, family stuff, the things that matter to me. He shows up straight from work. He does HVAC, makes decent money, but like he's always covered in dust and smelling like refrigerant or whatever. And look, I get it. He's working hard, but this was important. 20 people were there. My whole family, the photographer were paying good money for. And he just shows up looking like he crawled out of an attic, which he probably did. I was wearing this cream dress. Looked amazing, by the way. Hair done, makeup perfect. I'd put effort into this. We all had. And then there's my husband looking like he just rolled out of a job site because, well, he did. The photographer starts arranging everyone and I'm standing there thinking about how these photos are going to look, how we're going to look. And when he moved to stand next to me, I said what everyone was thinking. Actually, honey, can you step out of the frame? Your face is making everyone uncomfortable and ruining our beautiful picture. I know how that sounds. I know. But you have to understand the context. I was stressed. My mom had been making comments all day about the lighting and the positioning and how everything had to be perfect. The photographer was expensive. Everyone was watching and my husband shows up looking like that. Was it the best way to phrase it? Probably not. But I was put in an impossible position. Instead of just, I don't know, going to wash his face or asking for 5 minutes to clean up, he just left, like dramatically stormed off to his truck and drove away in front of my entire family. Talk about embarrassing. The photographer didn't know what to do. Everyone's standing there staring. My mom's asking what just happened. And I'm supposed to explain that my husband threw a tantrum over one comment. He ignored my calls for hours. Hours. I texted him explaining that it came out wrong, that I was just stressed, that he was being way too sensitive about this. Nothing. Radio silence like a child. When he finally came home, I tried to talk to him. I apologized, which honestly I shouldn't have had to do because it wasn't even that bad, but I did it anyway because I'm a good wife. I told him it came out wrong, but I just meant maybe he could freshen up first. Basic stuff. But he was being so dramatic about it. What did you mean to say? He kept asking. Like, what kind of question is that? I meant what I said, but nicer, obviously. But he was determined to make this into some huge thing. Then he starts going on about how I make comments about him in public, which first of all, I don't. I might mention that he could dress better sometimes or that he's not great in social situations, but that's just being helpful. That's what wives do. We help our husbands improve. You know what he said to me? He said, I don't respect him. That I might love him, but I don't respect him. Like, where does that even come from? I've been with this man for 10 years. 10. If I didn't respect him, would I have married him? Would I have stayed? But instead of working through this like adults, he moved out. Went to stay with his friend Weston. And can we talk about Weston for a second? This guy's been divorced for 3 years and lives in this sad little house with weeds everywhere. Real role model. But that's who my husband chose to listen to instead of his wife. My family tried to help. My mom called him. My sister reached out. We even organized a sit-down with Pastor Lawrence from Grace Community. Not our church, but whatever. I thought a neutral third party might help. Did he appreciate any of this? No. He acted like we were attacking him. Called it an ambush. An ambush? We were trying to save his marriage. I made lists. Actual lists of things I could work on. Be more appreciative. Show him I value him. Stop making jokes at his expense. Which, by the way, they weren't jokes at his expense. They were just observations. But fine, I was willing to change. Nothing was good enough for him. He kept saying I was performing instead of meaning it. Like, what does that even mean? I was doing everything he asked for. I was trying, but apparently trying isn't enough when your husband decides he wants to be the victim. Then, and this is where it gets really ridiculous, he filed for separation, actual legal papers, over a comment about a photo, 10 years of marriage, and he's ready to throw it all away because I hurt his feelings one time. His family started taking his side too. His uncle called me to say what I did was wrong. His cousin Grant, who I've always been nice to, by the way, apparently told him I talk about him differently when he's not around, which is just that's not even true. I mean, sometimes I might mention that he could dress better for family events, but that's not talking about him differently. That's just being honest. Even my own sister Hazel started texting him supportive messages. My own family turning against me because my husband convinced everyone he was some kind of victim. The worst part, he seemed fine. Like genuinely fine. I'm falling apart, crying every day trying to figure out how to save our marriage, and he's out there living his best life at Weston's place. Going to the gym, hanging out with his work buddies, acting like our 10-year marriage meant nothing to him. I posted something on social media about forgiveness and second chances. Not calling him out or anything, just sharing my heart about how marriage takes work and we all make mistakes. You know what he did? Nothing. Didn't even acknowledge it. Just let me pour my soul out to the internet while he pretended I didn't exist. Between us, I think his friends got in his head. Weston especially. That guy's been bitter about women ever since his divorce. And now he's poisoning my husband against me, telling him he deserves better or whatever. It's honestly pathetic how easily influenced my husband is. The separation went through. We split everything 50-50, which was fair, I guess. But the whole time he was so cold about it, so businesslike, like I was just some stranger he was doing paperwork with, not the woman he promised to love for better or worse. I moved in with my friend temporarily while I figured things out. Started going to the gym more, focusing on myself. My trainer there, cute guy, really sweet, started asking me out. I wasn't ready at first, but eventually I said yes. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Wait forever for my ex-husband to come to his senses? You want to know the really messed up part? I ran into his dad at the hardware store a few months later. He told me my ex was doing well and had found peace. Peace. Like he was some kind of war veteran recovering from trauma instead of a guy who overreacted to one stressful comment from his wife. Apparently he's taking his time, focusing on himself, maybe dating eventually, but nothing serious. Good for him, I guess. Must be nice to just throw away a decade-long relationship and move on like it was nothing. I keep thinking about that day at the photo. If I could go back, would I say it differently? Maybe. But the thing is, I wasn't wrong about what I said. He did look out of place. He did smell like work. The photos would have looked better without him in that state. Maybe I could have been more tactful about it. But you know what? I was under pressure. I was stressed. I was trying to manage everything. The family, the photographer, making sure everything looked perfect. And instead of supporting me, instead of understanding that I was doing my best in a difficult situation, he made it all about him. That's what really gets me. I was the one dealing with my mother's comments all day. I was the one who organized the whole thing. I was the one trying to make sure our family looked good in these photos that we'll have forever. And the one time I express frustration about it. Suddenly I'm this terrible person who doesn't deserve forgiveness. My therapist says I need to focus on my own healing now. That I can't control how other people react to things, only how I respond. He's right. I guess I'm working on letting go of the anger and resentment. It's hard though when you feel like everyone misunderstood your intentions. The guy I'm dating now, his name's Marcus. He's nothing like my ex. He actually cares about how he looks. Takes pride in his appearance. Dresses well. When we go out, I'm proud to be seen with him. Is that shallow? Maybe. But after 10 years with someone who thought showing up was enough, it's refreshing to be with a man who actually makes an effort. I'm not saying my marriage was perfect. I'm not saying I handled everything perfectly. But I was a good wife. I stayed for 10 years. I tried to help him improve. I supported his career even when it meant him coming home dirty and tired every day. I organized our social life, maintained relationships with both our families, planned everything from date nights to vacations. And the one time I had a moment of frustration. One moment where I said something that came out harsher than I intended, he used it as an excuse to blow up our entire life. Sometimes I wonder if he was looking for a reason to leave. Like maybe he was tired of being married and just needed something to justify it. Because normal people don't end decade-long marriages over one comment. They just don't. I've tried to reach out a few times, not to get back together. I'm over that now. But just to get closure, to have an actual adult conversation about what happened. He never responds. Just nothing. Like I'm invisible. You know what's really sad? We had good times together. Real good times. We traveled together, laughed together, built a life together, and he threw all of that away because his feelings got hurt one time. One time in 10 years. I guess some people just aren't built for the hard work that marriage requires. When things get difficult, when someone makes a mistake, they just run. They don't stick around to work through it. They don't give second chances. They just leave. Maybe I'm better off without someone who would abandon our marriage so easily. Maybe this was the universe's way of showing me that I deserve someone who won't give up on us the moment things get challenging. I just wish people understood that I wasn't trying to hurt him. I was just being honest. In a stressful moment under a lot of pressure, I said what I was thinking. Is that really so unforgivable? I mean, I'm not the villain here. I can't be right,